Have you ever poured months, maybe even years of your heart, soul, and mind into a project, an idea, or a strategy that you truly believed would change everything? You stayed up late, sacrificed time with friends and family, and worked tirelessly to perfect every detail, all with the hope that one day you would stand proudly in front of others, receiving the recognition and reward you so deeply deserved. But then, in a cruel twist of fate, you find yourself sitting silently in a meeting room, watching someone else take the stage and claim all the credit for what was your creation. The same person might be a colleague, perhaps even someone you once trusted, who now basks in the glory you had earned. How does that make you feel? Shocked, angry, heartbroken, confused. That feeling, the sharp sting of betrayal, is like a storm crashing through your chest. It shakes your confidence and leaves you questioning your own worth. Today I want to tell you the story of Simone Briggs. She's not just any young woman. She represents the many talented individuals, especially women, who face unseen walls in the workplace every single day. Simone isn't just crunching numbers behind a desk. She was the architect of innovative sales strategies that propelled her company's growth. Yet, despite her brilliance, she found herself betrayed by a coworker and overlooked by the very company she devoted herself to. She experienced the devastating moment when her hard work was stolen, and her career dreams felt like they were crumbling right in front of her eyes. But this is not where Simone's story ends. In fact, it is just the beginning. Her journey is one of immense strength, resilience, and courage, a story about how she stood up against injustice, reclaimed her value, and reached heights she never imagined possible. If you have ever felt invisible, undervalued, or had your ideas taken away, stay with this story. It will offer you not just empathy, but also inspiration and powerful lessons to help you rise, move forward, and ultimately succeed. Because no matter how dark the tunnel might seem, the light at its end is always there, waiting for those brave enough to keep moving forward. Simone Briggs wasn't the type to seek the spotlight. At 31, she had quietly built a reputation as one of the sharpest merchandising analysts at Gravora Group, one of the largest and most influential retail chains in the southeastern United States. If you ever visited Simone's workspace, you'd notice it was unlike any other. Her cubicle walls were plastered with colorful charts, detailed data sheets, and in-depth market analysis reports. To many, these numbers and graphs might look like dull statistics, but to Simone they were stories waiting to be told, tales of opportunity, shifting customer habits, and untapped potential. Her job was more than just analyzing numbers. Simone decoded subtle changes in consumer behavior, predicting trends before they became obvious, and crafting merchandising strategies that helped the company stay ahead in a fiercely competitive industry. Over the past several months, Simone had poured everything she had into one major project: the merchandising strategy for the upcoming holiday season, a critical time for retail sales. She meticulously analyzed data from millions of customers, surveyed buying habits, experimented with pricing models, and examined competitors across 3 different markets. Every detail mattered. Every insight was a stepping stone toward the promotion she had been working toward for years: the senior merchandising analyst position. Every morning, Simone came to work driven by the belief that her dedication and intelligence would finally pay off. She was confident, hopeful, and ready. But as many know, hope doesn't always guarantee fairness. The day of the big presentation arrived faster than Simone expected, and no one could have anticipated how sharply her world would change. In a large, bright conference room filled with executives and senior leaders, Simone sat quietly, heart pounding with anticipation and nerves. This was her moment, the culmination of months of tireless work, and she was ready to shine. But then, unexpectedly, her colleague Tyler Mason stood up and took the stage instead. Tyler delivered the entire merchandising strategy presentation for the holiday season with a confidence and polish that captivated the room. He spoke clearly, fluidly, and persuasively about the data, customer segmentation models, and competitive analysis, as if he had crafted every insight himself. Simone watched silently as each slide unfolded, the very ones she had painstakingly created, the data she had collected, and the ideas she had refined countless times. Even the unique terminology she had developed was now flowing effortlessly from Tyler's mouth, with no hint that the work belonged to anyone else. The director, Hamilton, stood beside Tyler, nodding in approval and clearly impressed. He announced then and there Tyler's immediate promotion to senior merchandising manager, a position Simone had dreamed of and worked toward for years. The shock was like a tidal wave crashing through Simone's chest. Her heart seemed to stop for a moment, Her face burned with a mix of anger, disbelief, and humiliation. She felt as if her future had been stolen in an instant. Yet in that moment, Simone could do nothing but sit quietly. She knew that speaking out would only make her look petty or bitter. She had heard similar warnings before. So she swallowed her pride, forced a professional smile, and endured the moment. What hurt Simone the most wasn't just losing credit for her work. It was realizing that the injustice was woven into the very fabric of the company culture. She began noticing a subtle yet relentless pattern that had been playing out for years, not just in her team, but across the organization. Talented women like her were systematically overlooked or sidelined. When projects succeeded, the credit was attributed to the team, or more often to the men who had positioned themselves well. But when things went wrong, Simone was the one held accountable. Her contributions were quietly praised in private meetings but rarely acknowledged publicly. She noticed promising projects mysteriously reassigned to male colleagues while she remained stuck in supporting roles. Even more painful was the realization that certain opportunities, important conferences, networking events, and leadership discussions were consistently off limits to her, while Tyler and other male colleagues received invitations without question. She remembered one moment sharply etched in her memory, Director Hamilton telling her, "Women just don't think strategically like men do." That phrase wasn't just a dismissive comment. It was a barrier, a message that no matter how hard she worked, how brilliant her ideas, she would never be seen as a true leader because of her gender. Simone felt like she was fighting an invisible wall so high and thick it seemed impossible to climb over. She questioned whether her hard work would ever be enough to break through the glass ceiling. Would she ever receive the respect and recognition she deserved? These doubts weighed heavily on her, sapping her energy and hope. Yet beneath the surface of frustration, a quiet fire still burned, a determination to prove her worth and not let these injustices define her future. Tyler Mason was not a stranger to Simone. When he joined Gravora Group about 18 months earlier, he immediately made an impression with his prestigious MBA and extensive industry connections. At first, Simone believed Tyler could be a valuable colleague. He often asked seemingly curious and genuine questions about her data analysis methods and merchandising strategies. Those questions made her feel seen and appreciated, something she rarely experienced in the company. But over time, Simone started to realize that Tyler's curiosity was not innocent. It was a calculated effort to learn her processes, understand her sources, and gather every detail he could to build his own version of the work. In the weeks leading up to the critical presentation, Tyler began using terminology Simone had created, weaving it seamlessly into conversations with management and peers, as if these ideas were his own. He started holding one-on-one meetings with Director Hamilton, discussing strategic visions to which Simone was never invited. Tyler even recorded their team meetings under the pretense of reviewing details later, but in reality, he was building a script to present as his own. Simone sensed something was wrong but wanted to maintain harmony and cooperation, so she continued sharing her work with him. It was a naivety she would come to regret deeply. After the promotion meeting, Simone left the conference room feeling a storm raging inside her chest. She walked out of the building and sat in her car in the empty parking lot, where only the faint rustle of leaves broke the silence. Her heart pounded with a mix of anger, disbelief, and profound sadness. She replayed every word of Tyler's presentation in her mind, the very words and data she had crafted with tireless dedication over many months. The sting of betrayal was overwhelming, not just by Tyler, the colleague she had once trusted, but by the entire company system that failed to protect her. All the complex customer segmentation models she painstakingly built, the unique terminology she had coined, the pricing optimization frameworks she designed, now all claimed as Tyler's own. Simone's pain wasn't just about losing a promotion or recognition. It was the loss of her dignity, her value, and her identity as a professional. Her dreams, her hopes, and her hard work seemed to crumble to dust right before her eyes. She felt isolated, pushed to the margins of a world she had hoped would embrace and respect her. But deep inside, a small flame still flickered. It was her resilience, her refusal to let injustice break her spirit. Simone knew that giving up now would mean letting all her efforts be in vain. She made a silent vow to find a way forward, no matter how hard the road ahead might be. Amidst the turmoil in her mind, Simone received an unexpected message from a college friend, a longtime confidant she hadn't spoken to much lately. The message mentioned a job opening at Sunville Studios, a rapidly growing retail chain known for its innovative data-driven strategies and a workplace culture that valued creativity and fairness. This was more than just a job offer. It was a lifeline, a reminder that beyond the walls of Gravora Group, there were better opportunities waiting to be seized. Simone found herself at a crossroads, continued to endure a toxic environment where her contributions were stolen and dismissed, or summoned the courage to step into the unknown chase fairness and demand the recognition she deserved. That night, under the soft glow of her desk lamp, Simone poured her heart into preparing a detailed, meticulous portfolio. She focused solely on projects where she had full ownership, carefully documenting every achievement and insight to present her true capabilities. For Simone, this wasn't just another job application, it was a chance to reclaim her career and her sense of self-worth. With a mixture of hope and anxiety, she submitted her application. Leaving Gravora was risky, but what did she really have left to lose? Days later, Simone's phone rang. On the other end was Margaret Foster, the head of merchandising strategy at Sunville Studios. Her warm yet professional tone brought a wave of renewed hope. Margaret explained that Simone's portfolio had caught their attention. They were impressed by her innovative thinking and wanted to schedule an interview for the following week. As Simone hung up, she felt a surge of cautious optimism. This could be the fresh start she so desperately needed. The day of Simone's interview at Sunville Studios arrived quickly, but unlike previous interviews, she felt a wave of excitement rather than anxiety. The Sunville office was modern and vibrant walls decorated with colorful charts and market data that seemed to breathe energy into the space. Simone immediately sensed this was a place where data and creativity met to drive innovation. Margaret Foster greeted her with a warm smile and a professional demeanor. The interview began with detailed questions about Simone's past projects, her data analysis techniques, and how she applied insights to real-world merchandising strategies. Simone spoke confidently and clearly explaining how she combined traditional demographic data with behavioral analytics to predict trends and optimize product placement. She shared specific examples of tests and experiments she had run, highlighting tangible results from different markets. Margaret's eyes lit up with genuine interest, and she asked insightful follow-up questions that showed a deep understanding of the field. The conversation felt less like an interview and more like an exchange of ideas among equals. At the end, Margaret outlined an attractive compensation package, a base salary $30,000 higher than Simone's previous role, stock options, and the chance to work directly with senior executives having a real voice in company strategy. Simone left the interview feeling energized and hopeful, finally a place where her skills and contributions would be valued and rewarded. Within days, she received a formal job offer. Simone had found her new professional home, a place where she could grow, be respected, and truly make an impact. While Simone was embarking on this promising new chapter at Sunville Studios, things were unraveling at Gravora Group under Tyler's leadership. Lacking the deep analytical understanding and adaptive skills Simone possessed, Tyler struggled to maintain the effectiveness of the strategies she had originally created. Sales in key markets began to decline, and the once successful holiday merchandising plan faltered badly when implemented under his guidance. Tyler's inability to pivot and respond to shifting market dynamics caused the company to lose competitive ground. Meanwhile, at Sunville Studios, Simone quickly proved her true value. One of her major achievements was successfully negotiating a strategic partnership with Bright Hollow Labs, a critical supplier that Gravora had lost due to faltering relationships and strategy. Her detailed market analyses, sales projections, and understanding of consumer preferences won over Bright Hollow's executives. This partnership brought significant profits and strengthened Sunville's market position. Throughout this period, Simone also received support from former colleagues like Bethany Coleman, who had witnessed the unfair treatment Simone endured. Bethany confirmed that Tyler merely copied Simone's work without genuinely grasping its principles, and that his plans lacked the analytical rigor required for success. Simone's journey stands as a powerful testament to perseverance, self-belief, and the importance of choosing the right environment to thrive. No matter the betrayal, bias, or injustice you face, never lose faith in your worth. Protect your ideas, stand tall, and keep seeking opportunities where your talents are truly appreciated. Success is not just about talent, it's about resilience, courage, and the willingness to fight for your place. Simone did it, and so can you.